Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be reviewing Masters of the Universe Origins He-Man. We have an international card back, guys, released in the UK via Amazon. I'm gutted, to be honest. I kind of was expecting it to be the same card back as the American release. Unfortunately, I think it's going to be just like the real Ghostbusters re-release figures all over again. As you can see, clearly this is way different. We've got no new for 20 up in the top corner. There's also no retro play modern posing. It just says includes comic in 3 different languages. Up here we've got He-Man. There's absolutely no explanation to who this guy is. No most powerful man in the universe. Now, yeah, okay, I get that it's an international product and therefore they've only got so much card space and they can't put multiple languages for every single sentence that they wish to kind of put on the packaging. If we turn to the back, guys, even more disappointing. So you could argue that this image, having no text across it, is actually better. Yeah, it's lovely to see it. I mean, you've still got this up here, but unfortunately there's no bio. No explanation for who He-Man is. So for us guys that have been collecting since 1982, absolutely fine, we know who he is. We know he's a cool geezer. But unfortunately, if they are aiming this at, you know, the next generation, it's just some guy wearing a pair of underpants with a sword. Again, here on the 6-pack images, we've got absolutely no explanation. We've got a blue and we've got a red. So we know goodies, baddies, but there's no heroic warriors, evil warriors, and there's no bio for each of these characters. No most powerful man in the universe, warrior goddess, etc, etc, etc. So I'm not going to pretend I'm not gutted. Yeah, we know what these images represent, but on the American packaging, as you know, it talks about the articulation. I know we don't probably need those explanations, but they're just little kind of things that are missing. And then we've got all of this down here that is kind of translated a few times in different languages, so they've taken a lot of the packaging space. I think on the American packaging, if I'm right in saying, there's only about this much information along the bottom, and the rest of it is used for the 6-pack, the images and the bio explanations. So yeah, feel a little bit shortchanged on the packaging, I'm afraid, Mattel. That's it in a nutshell, I think, with the packaging. In regards to the figure, I'm hoping that he's going to be pretty much the same as what everybody else is getting. So without further ado, let's get him out of the packaging and have a look at him. Okay guys, here he is out of package, and on first impressions there's a couple of things that I'm going to talk about. So first of all, let's just talk about the accessories that he comes with. So let's just pop him to the side. Okay, so Beast Barrage, the comic. I think we're going to be a little bit bored of this one by the end of wave 1. Let's have a quick look. Okay, ooh, no text whatsoever. Oh my god, it's just pictures, guys, just pictures, and bam. Okay, so that's the extent of the, oh my god, I am absolutely gutted. And again, the 6-pack on the back of the comic, there's no defining bios on there for each of the characters. Oh my god, what a disappointment. Absolutely gutted. Right, so let's move on now to the accessories that he comes with. So god, go away. Right, so it's what we're expecting: the sword, the axe and shield. So the shield's looking alright. Quite a thin kind of plastic. Well painted though. No, I'm happy with that. Brilliant. Okay, so the axe, done in the same colour plastic as the shield. There's no silver edging. I think we all know to expect that now from this release of the figure. I know the Comic-Con 2-pack, the mini comic special edition Prince Adam, he came with an axe that had kind of silver trim, but we knew we were getting this, so it's absolutely fine. The sword, ooh, a little bit of a bend on that one. I'm sure I can fix that with a bit of hot water. Yeah, it seems absolutely fine. That's what I was expecting anyway. Half sword, ready to plug into Skeletor's half sword. Yeah, not too bad. Right, okay, so let's move these things out of the way. Okay, so let's move on to the dude himself. He-Man, the most powerful man in the universe. First impressions. A couple of things that I've noticed. Probably just sort of production differences, I suppose. The X on his chest there, clearly that's a brighter red to the squares that go up the armour over his shoulders, so that's a kind of a more muted red, and the X in the middle is much brighter. The cross, sorry. On the side of the armour here, got really ugly looking sprue mark. I don't think it's showing up on camera. Basically it looks a bit like it's been chewed, but never mind, hey. Right, top of the shoulders, I can see the gaps at the top. I can't remember who it was, but somebody else did a review on this, compared to the SDCC version, and this one has got longer arm pegs to the San Diego version, which means that this gap at the top of the arm shows, and the other one, the San Diego version, doesn't, so it doesn't show any gap. It's not too much of a problem. I suppose you just need to angle them so that they don't show. It's not a real issue, it's not a deal breaker for me. This arm here, this joint is really stiff on my copy. I was a bit worried at first, I thought I was going to break it, but it did move and it was fine. Okay, paint apps look okay on the wrists. There's one difference I picked up, and I don't think this is going to come across on camera, but the paint app on the belt, the orange, it's very matte paint on the front, and then you turn around to the back and it actually is quite glossy. You can see a bit of shimmer and shine there. See if I can move it to see. You get no shimmer and shine on the front bit when I move it, but then when I move it to the side, to the back rather, you're getting that shine. So it's like a glossy paint on the back and a matte paint on the front, which is a bit bizarre. I think the underpants bit is cast in a brown plastic, and I think it was the opposite on the San Diego version. I think on the San Diego version it was an orange plastic with brown paint, so it's just the reverse, I suppose. Let's have a look at his head and his face sculpt. His eyebrows seem to be covered by his hair. So I've seen copies where his eyebrows are a bit higher, or his hairline's a bit higher, should I say. On this one, his hair seems to be quite low and his eyebrows are almost hidden. With this one specifically, he's kind of hidden by his hair. It doesn't bother me, to be honest. It's just something that I've noticed and I thought I'd pick out. So in regards to its articulation, I mean, it's quite nice. I love the fact that you've got this ratcheted kind of click. You can pose in between the ratchets. It's not like it won't hold. It will, but it's almost just like more of a solid hold once you reach that ratchet joint. Okay, so I like that. There's no kind of ratchet as you move the arm around, but there is a ratchet kind of, oh my god, that one's stiff as well. There's like a ratchet joint in there, which is good. Click. No ratchet joint in the wrist. It literally just spins around. Maybe it may become weaker over time, but I'm fine with it at the moment. My hand looks okay. quite a few reviews that I've seen, he was crammed into the plastic packaging, his hands come out all spuddy. Hot water again if anyone's got that issue, but I think mine's okay. I don't think it's too much of an issue. This hand, it's got the same sort of level of resistance as the other hand. There's no ratcheting either, but you're not going to get it on one side and not on the other side, so no ratcheting on either of the wrists. The joints on the legs, no thigh swivel, so it won't turn at the thigh like that way, but you have got an up and down, and then once you've rotated this out, you can then spin the thigh, but you can't spin the thigh in this position. Okay, so out, up and down. It's not too bad. It's more than what we got before. Your knee joints, they're not as stiff as the elbows, which is good. Kind of 360 turn on that, no ratcheting. There's a ratchet joint up and down, so when his leg is kind of locked into the straightest position that it can reach, there's a ratchet, so it locks, which is good. Again, the boot cut, there's a swivel, just goes around freely. I've got to try and get it back to where it was now. There's no ankle kind of lock, it's just a swivel. The up and down ankle movement has got a kind of a ratchet lock, which is good. But side to side doesn't lock. So again, over time, we'll see whether he becomes a little bit wobbly. I think he'd be quite wobbly if he didn't have this lock on the ankle. So quite grateful that he's got that. Fantastic. This leg seems to have a bigger gap on the boot cut. You see that? So there's quite a big gap between the fur and his calf. I don't know whether a bit of hot water will kind of sort that, or whether the pegs going down into the boot have the same issue as the shoulders. Waist articulation is perfectly fine. 360 turn. Head articulation seems to be quite free left to right. Looks down okay. Looking up, it's kind of limited, and we knew that we were going to get limitation there because of the hair. So overall, I'm quite happy with the figure. I think he's well built. He is quite solid, kind of quite reminiscent of the plastics used on the classics figures. It kind of feels very similar. I know I've mentioned a few nitpicks, but they are nitpicks, and the overall quality of the toy I'm really kind of quite pleased with. I think my biggest gripe was the international packaging. There's just not much I can say about that. I was gutted. The comic in itself, just by not having that text, that's just really unfortunate. Yeah, you can look at the pictures and you can kind of figure out what's going on, but come on guys, that is just naff. Yeah, gutted with that. Really looking forward to this product. I can't pretend that I'm not happy to have this toy line in some shape or form. I am. It's just a shame that you haven't given us that same wow factor that the release in the US would get. So I am a little bit saddened by that. So for now guys, I'm going to call that a day on this review, and I'll be back soon when I receive my next batch of Motu figures. So thank you very much for watching guys. See you soon.